Hello, everybody. Hey, Kathleen. Hey, Larissa. Hey, Katrin. Hey, Ruth. Hey, Yuli. Which lake, Kathleen? What are you talking about? That's cool, Larissa. I do not own rollerblades, but I would like to. Hey, Owen. Oh, Lake Ontario, of course. Yeah, I used to have some, fun ones. We used to play hockey as kids, but anyways, then I grew out of them, and I did not buy new ones. Oh, you biked out Lake Ontario. That's cool. You must not live too far then. Now's not a really good time to go buy new rollerblades, unfortunately. Alright, I got some new people, sorry. Jared, you biked 40K, nice. Hey, Erica. Hey, Lucas. Hey, SJ. Hey, Sadie. Samuel, welcome. Wrong windpipe. Hey, Teddy. Just waiting a few minutes on everybody to show up. Hey, Crystal. Still no Maddie. Still no Zion just yet. Ruth was here. All right, it is 8 o'clock. All right. Got 14, and there is 5 missing. So maybe one of those is me. 14 viewers. Okay, cool, team. Let's see, what did we do yesterday, or on Friday, I guess? Would have been parallel and perpendicular lines. Just see... I can share that with you here. 1 second. Alright. So yeah, we gave you this here, and I asked you guys to do a few of these questions. Probably gave you a bit much, but let's see. Was there any questions about any of those? From 1, 3AB, C, 5AB. Hey Kendra, welcome. Just adjust that for you. Kendra is here. Awesome. Yeah, Yuli, I got you as well. Awesome, thank you. Yeah, if you guys have said something in chat, I can see it, and I've made note of that you're there. It's just I'll tell you who I'm missing again because I'm normally better about that as far as I'm aware. I am missing Madison, Zion, Owen, and Ben. So if you guys could hit me up. Yeah, Kathleen wants me to do 15, so we're going to open up 15 here. Hey Zion, welcome bud. I'll fix that. 5, 5. Oops. Alrighty, here we go. And we wanted 15. All right, coolio. We'll definitely do that. I'm just going to adjust the attendance again to show that Zion's here now. Awesome. Okay. So 15 basically is saying determine the value of K. So K looks to be like a point. And in some of these, like in this one, it's a Y value. In this one, it'd be like an X value, right? So they're kind of different here. And so it looks to me like, I don't know that you guys have used these signs before, but these are 2 parallel lines. And that's why they've got like the same like amount of like little arrows. I don't know that they necessarily needed to do 2. I thought 1 was okay, and then 2 were for another set of parallel lines. But anyways, it doesn't matter. They are parallel, and they look parallel. So we're just trying to find a point to make them parallel. And so what I would do is I would remember, hopefully you guys remember, that in order for these lines to be parallel, they have to have the same slope, right? So I would look here and I would go, all right, well, I remember This point B is in a bad spot, right? Because that's this point here. But those are your x values, and here's your y values. So I would look at that and say, okay, I need to find out the slope of this line from A to B, and then make sure I can find a y value so that those will be the same sort of slope as well. So let's do the slope from A to B. I'm just going to make it so we have a split screen kind of deal here. Something like that, and then I'll work on this. Hopefully you guys can see this-ish. All right, so slope from A to B is where I would start with this. So let's say that A being that 1, 5, I'm going to call that x1, y1. And B, which was, oh sorry, it's a bit ugly. Not lined up. B, which was 9, negative 5, was, we'll call that x2, y2. And then remember, we do y2 minus y1 to find our slope, divided by x2 minus x1. So our y values will be basically that minus 5, right? y2, so minus 5 minus y1, which is 5. Divided by x2, so 9, minus x1, which is 1. So if I'm looking at this then, that's going to be negative 5 minus 5, which is negative 10. Sorry. Negative 10 over 9 minus 1, which is 8. Okay, so we can reduce that. That's the same thing basically, right? If we divide top and bottom by 2, it'll be negative 5 over 4. Welcome, Benjamin. We're just taking up some work here. Okay, sorry. I am looking for tenants. So still missing Owen and Maddie. Owen and Maddie. Okay. Here we go. Let's check the next one. So if we did the slope from A to B, that means we should also make sure that the slope from C to D is the same. From C to D is the same. So I'm just going to get rid of me for a second here. That way you guys can... Oopsies. You don't want the food in the background. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. Thanks, Owen. Awesome. So just Maddie then. So basically, right, we're going to find the slope between not A and B, but slope between C and D. And we'll do C is the point negative 4, 3, and D is the point 2K, NBA 2K. And so again, we'll call this x1, y1, and over here we'll call this x2, y2. And what we'd want to do is you want to do your y2 minus y1. Same deal, right? Over x2 minus x1. We're looking at our slope. So what's that going to be? It's going to be k minus y1, so k minus 3 divided by x2 minus x1. So it'll be 2 minus negative 4. Okay. And so that would give us, ooh, nasty. We're going to have k minus 3 over 2 minus 4 is 6. Disgusting. Okay, so I do know that my slopes are the same, though. So basically what I'm trying to say is I want to make sure that, this is going to be a bit ugly here for y'all, but this here, this k minus 3 over 6, it needs to match up with this over here. They should be the same, right? Now, one is over 6, and one of them has a negative 5 on the top. So it's not okay to just say k is negative 2. We got to do a little more with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set those two things equal, because I want to say that these are the same. These are the same. And so basically I want to make sure that I've got my minus 5 over 4. And that should be equal to that k minus 3 over 6. We're going to basically figure out what k is to make that true. And if you can find that k value, those points will have the same slope. They'll be parallel. Let's go ahead and solve this. Remember, when we do these things, we basically want to find a common multiple or common denominator for 4 and 6. If I'm going to do that, right, 2 4s would be 8. 6 doesn't go into 8. 3 4s would be 12. It does go into 12. So I'm just going to multiply. Basically, let's just make these same thing on the next line, so that way I can show you my work separately. I'm going to multiply this by 3 over 3, because then that'll make it 12, right? And then this one, I'm going to multiply it by 2 and 2. And so what am I going to get? I'm going to get 3 times negative 5 is negative 15 over 12. And then this one here is going to be 2 times, and it needs to be the whole thing, right? 2 times k minus 3 over 12. And if you guys remember, once we have them both the same denominator, you don't even need to worry about it. On the bottom there, you just set up the top, because if the bottoms are the same, we just want the tops to be the same too. So 2 times k minus 3, we're just forgetting about the bottom. And now you need to expand, right? So we get negative 15 equals 2k minus 6. Right, as we go, 2 times k is 2k, and 2 times minus 3 is minus 6. And then you'd probably want to move your minus 6 across. So we're going to get 2k equals negative 15 plus 6. Negative 15 plus 6 is going to be negative 9 equals 2k. Ooh, gross. And k is equal to, and we divide both sides by 2, negative 9 over 2. Well, that could not have been uglier. Yeah, basically, Larissa, we're trying to solve that, right? Just like we were doing last unit, where we were solving equations with fractions on each side. Yeah, you're going to multiply them both by that number on the bottom there in order to make it so they have a common denominator. Okay, so we should be able to see now that those will work. So if we're going to go and look in Desmos here. We had a few points. The points were 1, 5. Let's label that sucker. And call it A, I guess. And that was the other point. We have C, which is negative 4, 3. Call that sucker C. B is 9, negative 5. And then our last point, D, which we've just calculated, was 2. And then our Y value was negative 9 over 2. 2 and negative 9 over 2, or you could say negative 4.5, doesn't matter. And that should be D. Now they should be the same slope, and the slope should be, what do we say the slope was going to be? The slope was going to be, I've got to go back up. Negative 5 over 4, which is not pretty. So we have y equals negative 5 over 4 x. And I'm just going to figure out how I can get, oopsies. So that one looks to be good, right? We have a slope of negative 5 over 4. Let me just go projector mode so you guys can see that a little bit thicker there. Awesome. So negative 5 over 4 goes through those ones. Let's see if I can come up with a line that also goes through these ones. Y equals negative 5 over 4 x. And I'm going to say I'm going to have to go positive. 4 didn't work, 5 didn't work, 6 works, not really, 7, no. It'll be somewhere in the middle, right? 6.5 maybe, 6.4. There you go, ish. Good. That's not nice. That was not the point of the question. It was not to come up with 2 lines, but basically at least we see that they're at least the same slope. We found this D value so that they would be. That was not a nice question, but that's how you do something like that, for sure. And I just got to take attendance. Fix that at least. All right. Okay, cool. So that was 15A. 15B again would be just a little bit more difficult, right? We can do 15B if you guys like. It'd be kind of worth our time, I guess. So I don't think it'll take as long as this one. I actually think 15A was harder. And basically you want to find, right, you want to see your 2 slopes. So I'm going to do my slope from H to G. So the slope from H to G, right, I'm going to say H is K4 and G is 3, negative 5. And so we'll do our, let's say X1, Y1, X2, Y2, and we're going to calculate our slope. Hopefully these ones have nicer numbers. The problem with the last one was they had ugly numbers. So it'd be negative 5 minus 4 over 3 minus K. Okay, so that'll be negative 9 over 3 minus K. We'll hold on to that for a second. That can't be simplified anymore just yet. And what we'll do is we will say our slope from E to G. So E is the point negative 4, 0. And, oh, sorry, E to F, isn't it? E to F, my bad. F is the point 8, 2. So again, X1, Y1, X2, Y2. And then we'll just do our slope again. The difference here is that they're going to be perpendicular, right? 2 minus 0 over 8 minus negative 4. And so that'll be 2 over 12. Which if we divide each side, basically you're going to get 1 over 6. So, bit ugly. I do get 1 over 6 and negative 9 over 3 minus K. Now, the tough part is that remember, we're not trying to make these things parallel. We're trying to make them perpendicular. So I'm not going to set these guys equal to each other. So these ones would not be equal. But if we flip one of them and make it the opposite sign, so I'm going to do this one here, it's going to allow us to set them equal, right? So basically we say their slopes are flipped and negative. So if we take the negative reciprocal of this guy, we flip it and it becomes 6 over 1, and then just make sure to make it a negative, right? This slope here is perpendicular to that 1 over 6. And so that's what I want that negative 9 over 3k to be equal to. I basically want negative 6 over 1 to be equal to negative 9 over 3 minus k. So I'm going to leave that with you for a second. So we got negative 6 being equal to negative 9 over 3 minus k. Now, I got rid of the 1 because I see my k's on the bottom, right? So I can't really make a common denominator with k. That would be kind of weird. So what I'm actually going to do is, just like here, like this is like something, right, divided by something else. What we're going to do is we're going to do the opposite. We're going to multiply it. So we're going to multiply both sides by 3 minus k. And that would kill off that one, right? That's how do you kick that guy off. And we're going to multiply this side by 3 minus k as well. I don't really need to have that thing on half screen, sorry. And so we'll get negative 6 times 3 minus k being equal to negative 9. And then you guys can all solve that from there. Putting that through, negative 6 times 3 is negative 18. Negative 6 times negative k is positive 6k equals negative 9. And basically, you just bring your 18 over. Nine over 6. And that can be reduced as well. Divide top and bottom by 3. So I don't know why I'm writing on an angle, but that would be 3 over 2. So I did say, remember I starred these ones? I would pause it there if you need to see. Sorry, I'm just going to move this for a second just to show you back up here what I was talking about. You look over here. Number 15, I starred with 11 because those were the hard questions. Remember I was saying those were the challenge questions? So if you struggle with this or you're very confused, don't panic too much. It's good to understand, good to know those things. But that one was definitely a challenge question, right? So definitely one of the harder things you'll see. So I'm going to leave that there for a second. Maybe I'll turn my camera back on. Oh, I'm on the wrong one. Let's go back to that. Alrighty. All right. Yeah, so that's the green screen camera. I just have behind me, I don't have my blinds closed, right? So the green screen doesn't work very good. All right. Well, I think that was probably pretty painful. So hopefully you guys tried that, got that down. So I was just seeing if anyone needed me to keep that paused. If you need that still up there, maybe just pause right now or take a screenshot. Sorry, I didn't think B would take as long. Turns out B took, I think I just wrote bigger, didn't I? I don't know that it took any more time, but I thought it's too bad those numbers are so ugly. If those numbers were nice, you could have just like guessed what the top and bottom were. You wouldn't have to solve like that, but anyway, it's pretty gross. Okay, so our game plan after I check teams here, because I got a few messages popping in. never mind, nothing. Just one quick thing is that you will probably notice that Mr. Rose posted on Friday that we do have Bible class. So you guys being in grade 9 are with Felton still, so you'll be able to see in your Teams group. There'll be some sort of link in there. I'm sure Mr. Felton made a Teams for you guys. If not, you'll have your same Bible OneNotes that you can look through there. And I believe it's at 9:30 is when we're supposed to call you guys and talk for a minute, kind of explain what it's going to look like. It's pretty chill. It's a lot more chill than even just a regular Bible workload would be. Just kind of, you got him, Benny, good. But anyway, it's just more conversational a little bit, so kind of cool. Give you guys something to do during the middle of the day there. So anyways, we will we'll skedaddle here today. But yeah, that's what you'll be doing about 9:30. Got some of like the random assortment. I have like a mixture of grade 12s and 11s. It's a weird class. Here's what we want right here. 5 ways to find the equation of a line. Oh yeah. All right. So this is a bit of a review day. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to explain some key points, and then I'm going to have you guys work. And then basically we're going to rock and roll. And I'm going to let you guys, see my answer afterwards. So we'll move from there. So here there's a couple things that are missing. Basically, the whole point of today, right, is there's 5 different situations where you'd find an equation of a line, or could get an equation of a line like y equals mx plus b. So if you look, one would be from a graph. So without shouting at your answer just yet, no one type it in chat. Let's have you come up with an equation for this here. If I gave you a line like this, come up with, right, we're going to find y equals mx plus b. So I'm going to give you guys a minute. Just say when you are done. Give me a thumbs up when you are done and you're happy. If not, shoot me a message in Teams and I'll go to your OneNote with my screen off and I'll maybe take a quick look. If there's something that is totally, you're like, I don't think I'm totally right. But we will take this up in a minute as well. So see if you can do this on your own. This is a great review. Remember we talked about likely having a test at the end of this week, so like Thursday before Easter there. Hey, Johnny. Sam's done. Owen, we're just working our way through this where I'm going to explain something at the top. And then you guys are going to go ahead and do it. Remember, for those of you that maybe need a little hint, we're trying to find y equals mx plus b. B is your y-intercept. And m is the slope. I just spilled coffee. Typical, Ellis. That's just typical. All right, so we've got a few people done. Just wait for a couple more. It's only a few we've got. Well, let's see. So remember, we would start, I don't know, I always start with the y-intercept. So I always look here, and that y-intercept, remember, because it's our y-axis, is b. So our b in this case is just equals to 1. And then I look for the slope. And so it's typically good to start from your y-intercept. And then I would like to ask myself, I'd say, okay, are you going to have a positive slope or a negative slope? Well, remember, slope, dude, if it went up like this, that'd be positive, right? Puff, puff, positive. If he went down, it's nice negative. So as we know it's negative. Or remember, it's 0, write that. Or undefined. But anyways, we don't have those. We have nice negative. So I do know it's negative. Ruth's done. Awesome. And so what I do is I look for my next nice point. Because if we look just over to like here, it's like, okay, what's my slope? Will I go down a little bit and then over 1? Like, it doesn't make sense. So I look for the next nice point. So I go, nah, it's not nice, right? It doesn't end up, by nice I mean it would end up on like one of those crossings, like perfectly. Not up here, like on where the dotted lines meet. So I'm looking, no. There we go, right there, right? So I see that that's a nice point right there. And I don't see any other nice points in between there. So then what I'd say is, okay, how did we get there? Well, we went down, so -1, 2, 3, right? So -3 is our rise. And then over, we're going to have our run, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So remember, our slope is rise over run. So our slope is -3/4. So what's our full equation then? Our full equation is going to be y equals -3/4x plus 1. So that should be something at this point that we're okay with. And remember, this is like, I'm reviewing all of the different ways. So hopefully none of this is like totally new. I just want to show you guys that there is 5 different ways. Chapter 5, 5 ways to find a line. Ayo. And this is our last lesson on lines. So I'm sure a lot of you will be very pleased on that. Then we move into trigonometry, which is everyone's favorite. Yeah, trigonometry. Yeah, Larissa, whoever made Slope Dude was a comedic genius, to say the least. To say the least. Probably won a Nobel Prize. Probably has been sainted, knighted. Likely an astronaut. Anyways, what can't that guy do? Let's go up here. So these ones, remember I said there was 2 separate ways to come up with a line. It's not enough to just have 1 point, right? It's not enough to just have 1 point. I'm just going to write a little note on that. And the reason for that, right, is if I tried to draw a line there, you'd be like, okay, am I drawing this line? Or no, didn't mean that line. Actually, I meant this line. Or like there's an infinite number of lines that you could draw, right? Spinning your ruler around that because it doesn't have another point. If I had another point at least, like over here, right, 2 points, then I could connect that with my ruler and that would make perfect sense. I'd know exactly where to draw the line. So that's why we either need 2 points or a point, so that 1 point there, and some sort of slope. Because that slope, if it tells me that my slope is like 2 or something positive like this, right? That gives me the direction. So it gives me my starting point plus a direction, and then I can just follow along with that. That's what slope is, right? It's like, okay, here's my starting point. Now the direction is 2. So you're going to maybe go up 2 over 1 to get to the next point, right? And so on like that. So basically, you either need 2 points or a point, and slope would be your direction, and that would be enough now, right? That would be enough. So we need those things. And remember, how do we calculate those things? I'm going to do the first one with you guys, and then I'm going to let you do the second one. So we're going to see if you guys can all get the right answer. So remember, when I go y equals mx plus b, I don't have b, right? I do have x, y, and then m, right? I have my x, my y, and m in here. And so I'd fill in all those points. -2 equals our slope, which is -3/2, times x, which is 4, plus b. And then for me, I'd probably multiply these out, right? I'd say, okay, that's the same thing as 4/1. Just going to pause here for a sec so some people can catch up. I did -3 times 4 is -12, and 2 times 1 is 2 to get here. So here's my m. You can see there's m. My y was -2. That's where y is -2 came from. And my x is 4. But I wrote it as 4/1 because they're multiplying fractions. Kathleen's got her. Awesome. So -12/2 is going to be -6, right? We got -2 plus b. I'd say kick that 6 off. And you're going to get -2 plus 6 equals b. So b, sorry, here I'm running out of room. B is equal to -2 plus 6. B is 4. So what's my full equation? Well, I remember it is y equals, and I know I have my slope. So -3/2x plus 4. I guess I could put a bubble around it like I did last time. Reminder, only because I saw a bunch of us when I was asking you guys last week, lines have no numbers for x and y, x comma y. Just gonna scroll up. Because I remember I saw a lot of you guys typing in the chat for your answers for a specific question, where you'd have like, you'd leave it, you'd write like -2 equals -3/2 times 4 plus 4. Like you had like the point in there as well. But your final answer, you leave y and you leave x because you need those there to write an equation. Like if I type this in Desmos, it'll look like a line. But if I type this in Desmos with just 4, it's just a number. It's like, okay, this equals, it doesn't mean anything. You got to keep x and y in your final answer, or else it's not a line. Okay, so what I want you guys to do is I want you to do this next one, and I want you to see if you can solve it. Now, it is a little bit tricky because you see here how it says, oops, I just dropped my pen. Randomly typed a Z in the corner. Also, I somehow bumped the line down. There we go. Sorry about that. This x-intercept of 6, well, an x-intercept of 6 basically, right, that's like this point out here. It's when we have 6 on the x-axis, and what would you say the y value is? It's 0, right? So that's what an x-intercept of 6 looks like. So it's not b, that's our y-intercept, right? It's different. So see, still, this is x comma y. See if you guys can solve that right there. I'm just going to pause for a second while you try that. Hit me up when you think you are done this new one. So an x-intercept of 6 and a slope of a half. Ugh. Someone said maybe done. Kendra, just let me know when you are done them. So we're not giving away any answers. But you want to make sure you remember you write it as y equals something x plus b. Y equals mx plus b. Thank you. No, that's okay. That's okay, Kendra. Thanks. Awesome. People are done. Skis. Ben says done? Done, maybe? Okay. Sammy's done. All right, team. Well, basically, what we have here, right? We do the same thing. So we're going to say y is 0, equals m. M was, our slope was a half, right? So that's m. X, which is 6, plus b. So 1/2 times 6, right? That's the same thing as 1/2 times 6/1 plus b. I see that as going to be 6 times 1 is 6 over 2 times 1 is 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 3 plus b. Shoot that little b across. And you're going to get -3 equals b. Now, that's not totally done, right? Because we want to write y equals mx plus b. Just b equals is not our final answer. So we'd write y equals 1/2 x plus -3 or just -3. Oh, I was going to do it in a cloud, wasn't I? Good job, team. Oh, I got 3 teams messages. Sorry. I have a bunch of them from kids not in my class right now, so that's why. Oh, I see. Seems like some people are back in the dorm and they're like, the dorm Wi-Fi, it's awful. That's true. I bet you it is awful. By shoot across the B, I mean kick. Sorry, I meant the 3. My bad. So subtract 3, bring it to the other side. That's my bad, Benny. Oh, okay. All right, team. Well, we did pretty good there. Holy smokes. There's like a whole crap ton of cars in the Catholic parking lot. Are the Catholics back in school? The Catholics don't give a crap. There's like 15 cars over there. Anyways. It's amazing. These guys are invincible. They all came from penance. Yeah, I got no idea. But yeah, they're all just hanging out, talking away. Yeah, they shouldn't be, that's for sure. It's kind of weird. Okay, so you guys should be able to do this. Remember, basically, you can get it using 2 points, right? I can come up with an equation of a line if I had 2 points because I would know to connect them. What do I need? Well, I need to get the slope. So you're going to get the slope first, and then what we do is step 1. So step 1, get the slope, and then 2, you use one of the points. So choose one of the x, y's, and then get your m equals blah, 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 and then solve for b, just like we did above. So do this, right? First, get the slope. So see if you guys can do, remember our slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So see if you can solve that right, meow. At least get the slope. I believe in you. This is something where we're testing ourselves, see if we can do these suckers right. If you're struggling with these, that's what we're hoping that we can resolve right, meow. I'm gonna turn me on full screen, and then I'm just gonna go through some people's OneNotes just to see how we're doing with this stuff. Sorry, I just gotta make some notes of things here. Dang. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, some people are done here. That's good. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Sorry, I'm just checking some OneNotes of people that I am suspicious of. It's all good. Nothing is wrong with being a nerd except your view of one. Can I get an amen? All right, we're going to try this in a second here. Pretty sure I'm happy. All right, let's see. All right, so If I got the slope, I'm going to do this a little fast because from the people I saw, you guys were done. So I'm going to try and I'm going to do my slopes here. So I'm going to call this x1, y1. I'm going to call this x2, y2. And remember, it doesn't matter which one you call which, as long as you're just keeping consistent. You will get the same answer in the end here. So I'm going to do my y2 minus y1. So that'll be 7 minus negative 5. And I'll do my x2. So that's where it becomes tricky, right? Because you got to go 7 minus negative 5. Minus negative 5 will actually be plus 5. So that's where some people might have made a mistake. Then we do x2, which is negative 2 minus x1. So negative 2 minus 6. What I'm going to get is 7 plus 5. Sorry, I should keep my equal signs lined up on top of each other here. Doesn't really matter, but just confuses some people. So 7 plus 5 over negative 2 minus 6 is negative 8. So what is that going to be? 7 plus 5 is going to be 12 over negative 8. Remember, that's the same thing as negative 12 over 8. But either way, I'm just going to divide these things by 4 because that seems like that's going to work out nicely. Right, top and bottom. Divide by 4, divide by 4. So that'll be 3 over 2. 3 over negative 2. Perfect. And that's the same thing as negative 3 over 2. Remember, we can decide where that negative goes. Doesn't really matter. I put it on the top just because that's more proper. So you got something like that. And then I choose one point. So maybe I'll choose the point negative 2, 7 as my x, y. Right, so I've got my slope. I'm going to take that x, y and my slope, and I'm going to solve for b. So I've said that my m value is going to be negative 3 over 2, I believe. Yep. So I'm going to put everything in, right? I'm going to say y equals mx plus b. So 7 equals m, which is negative 3 over 2, times x, which is negative 2, plus b. I'm going to write that as negative 2 over 1. Negative 3 times negative 2 is 6 over 2, right? 2 times 1 is 2, plus b. That 6 over 2 is 3. Bring that sucker across. Minus 3. That'd be 4 equals b. So I probably did that a little fast, but I did see most of you were done. I saw some people had errors, but I did see most of you were done. So I'm just going to zoom out, see where you maybe made a mistake. If you're still struggling, hit me up. And I can try and help with that. I'm just going to go and check. I have another couple messages in Teams, some new ones here. Just going to see if I had done. My thing doesn't pop up and do a very good job. Yeah. Okay, so pause it if you struggled there. We're on to our last two things, and then we're doing pretty well. We're done. So these last two are similar to what we would have had in the homework. Yeah. All right, so we've come up with 3 ways so far. Let's recap. I've asked you guys to come up with the equation of a line from a graph. I've asked you to come up with the equation of a line given a point and slope. So give a point and then some slope off of that. Then I asked you to come up with an equation of a line given 2 points, right? So there was 3 options. Benjamin, how about you wake up earlier so you can take a shower? Okay, so here's this point here, and it's basically we're trying to find a line that is parallel, right, to the point passing through that garbage. Now, the reason that this is a little trickier is that this is not in y equals mx plus b form. So we know that parallel, right, means same slope. Morning, Mr. Felton. Felton's hanging out, man. He's messing with the homies. Should we rat out some of the people that have been from Felton's class hanging out with us as well? Should we rat those little dudes out? Feltskis, you want to see my green screen, brother? Let's hit Felton with all the full bag of tricks. Let's see it. All right, Felts. Oh, my t-shirt won't work very well here. Let's give him the green screen. Let's hit him with that juicy green screen. I'm like possessed. My shirt is the same color as my blind, so it's basically just my head and my eyeballs too. All right, so here we go. We got floating arms and things like that. And then they wanted me to hit you with the bouncing cats. So I'll throw out some bouncing cats in there. And then why not have the classic newt newt? Everyone knows we need a little newt newt in our lives. And why not have pickle, donkey, knife? Amen. Amen. Well, sorry for being a bit possessed there. It's not ideally. Ooh, that's bright. How I plan to have. Yeah, Lewis is like, what the heck is going on? All right. So, anyways, oops, I almost spilled coffee again. That's the new Netflix doc, is inside the mind of a guy who's been living alone for 3 weeks now, while still teaching classes and pretend he's talking to people. So we need to make this y equals mx plus b to get the slope, right? We can't figure out m from here. We need to make it so it's y equals mx plus b, so get y by itself. Convert to Catholicism. Convert to y equals mx plus b. So basically, we're going to go 2x minus y plus 5 is equal to 0. And so let's move that y to the other side. Yes, Zion? So you're going to get plus y on both sides. So you're just going to get y be 2x plus 5. See you, Felton. So now that's in y equals mx plus b form. So in this case, m is equal to 2. So our slope is 2. So that's the part where we really wanted, right? And I know maybe some of you didn't need to convert to y equals mx plus b to see that, but we do see a slope of 2. So I want to make sure that I do have I do want to make sure that this thing is in this form, just in case it was more complicated, right? And so basically here, we want to make it so we have a line with the same slope, but it does pass through this point, right? So you're going to have the point x, y, which was -1, -4, and our slope was -2. So basically you just start solving, right? You do the same things. You do your y, so -4 equals m, -2 times -1 plus b. And -2 times -1 is going to be +2 plus b. Scooch that little 2 over. -4 minus 2 equals b. So b equals -6. Now again, I still see in my notes that you guys, as I walk through your notes, sorry, not my notes, but I'm seeing that we are not writing the final equation. So you're doing all this work, but you're not getting the marks for actually finishing. So you need to make sure that when you finish this, you get y equals m, so 2, right? I got that from here. And then x plus b. And here's the other part of that, so -6. Okay, and so we're on to our last one, and it is 9 o'clock. So if you guys finish up this next example, you are good to go. Tomorrow we're just going to do a little quiz. on lines where you guys can show me your skills. You can see on my screen right here, you've got something called a practice test. So I'm going to send that your guys' way, and I'll give you guys some review and vocabulary to do on Wednesday, and then on Thursday we'll have our test. So I'll make sure to post that in Edsby. But basically, yeah, if you're just sticking with me for this last example here, we're going to have no homework tonight. I feel like I've been working you guys pretty hard. If you wanted practice, what I would do is I would copy this, right out. Sorry, you guys can't see what I'm doing with my mouse there. I would copy this here, paste that, and then try it again. Just do this thing, erase everything, and just try this again. But also, you could obviously just go to your review. Homework. Okay, so how do we do this next one then? Well, it's a little bit interesting. This one's going to be a bit weird. Probably one of the harder ones from the homework, but it says find the equation that is perpendicular to this here. So before we get into it has the same y-intercept as this crap, we'll do that afterwards. That's like part 2, right? This is where we're going to determine our slope, and this part is where we're going to determine our b value. But anyways, we'll get to that later. Those are the 2 things you need to do. So what I would do first is I would get my slope. So again, I want to make sure, I know it's not going to be the same. You have to, because it's perpendicular, you got to flip and change the sign. But I am going to get this equation in y equals mx plus b form. Because once I do that, then I know the slope, then I can flip it. So I'm going to bring this sucker down. I'm going to say that's step 1, and that's going to be step 2. So bring this sucker down. So we're going to get 3x minus 2y minus 12 equals 0. I'm going to keep my equal signs lined up. I figure it'll be a little bit easier if I kick that 2y across to be plus 2y. And on the left side, I'm still just going to have 3x minus 12. Now, I need to divide everything by 2. And so I'm left with y, and then I'm going to have 3 over 2x minus 12 over 2 is 6. So what's the important bit here? The important piece is that our slope is 3 over 2. None of the rest of that crap matters. The only thing that matters is that our slope is 3 over 2. But remember, I want to find a perpendicular slope. So perpendicular, sorry, that's not a very good arrow. Perpendicular to 3 over 2. If I asked you guys, what is a perpendicular slope to 3 over 2? Hopefully you guys are good enough at this now that you remember that you need to flip it. This will be 2 over 3, and then also change the sign. So if it was positive, make it negative. So this will be negative 2 over 3. That's our new m value that we want, right? This was our old line, right? And we're trying to make it so it's perpendicular to this line. So all we did is we figured out what this line looked like by getting it in y equals mx plus b. I know it's not exactly like that. We switched the order a little bit, but basically. And then we make it perpendicular by flipping that slope and changing the sign. Then we're not totally done, right? We need to get the y-intercept here. And so the y-intercept is going to be pretty easy for this one, because if you guys remember, the y-intercept is when x is 0. Right? Our y-intercept is when x is 0. You could actually solve this one for y equals mx plus b, but basically, well, in this case, Sam, it won't just be the constant, because if you were to solve this for y, then you'd have to divide everything by 2. So actually, it's going to end up being negative 2. You could solve for y equals mx plus b, and you're right, it would be the constant, but because this isn't in y equals mx plus b form, then it wouldn't be exactly. But you're right, you have a good idea. You could also solve, like you're saying, y equals mx plus b and look for the constant. But here, sorry, let me just make this a little bit more full screeny. I would set x equal to 0, so we're going to get 0 plus 2y minus 4 equals 0. All I did here, right? All I did was change this x and made it 0, right? I just said x is 0. So basically that 0 just disappears. 0 is nothing, right? So I'm just left with 2y minus 4 equals 0. And then you could solve. So basically I'd say 2y, and then I bring that 4 across. 2y equals 4. Then I divide each side by 2. And I'm left with y equals to 4 divided by 2 is 2. So you guys can't see that. Let me scroll up. And that's really what like our b is, right? That's really b equals 2. Because I've learned that my y-intercept is 2. That's what that told me. So what's my final equation then? My final equation would be y equals, well, our slope is negative 2 over 3, x, and then I'd say plus b, so plus 2. So I'm going to graph this in Desmos to see where, and show you where that would be, or what that looks like. I'm just going to open up Desmos here. Let's clear all this garbage. Oh, sorry, we didn't want the textbook there. Where's that darn thing? Where's OneNote? There she be. It's because it was in full screen. So hello. We wanted to find something that is perpendicular to this. So let's look. We're going to get 3x minus 2y minus 12 equals 0. So we're trying to find the line that is perpendicular to that. And you guys told me that if we do the slope of, well, you didn't tell me that, but you basically did, right? A perpendicular slope to that is negative 2 over 3. So if I just start with negative 2 over 3, x, you can see perfect, that's perpendicular. That's great, that's what we solve for. But the other bit, right now this green line has a y-intercept of 0, right? Because we have plus 0 basically. We haven't done anything there, right? But we wanted to not have just a y-intercept of 0 and just be perpendicular. We wanted to actually have the same y-intercept as this line. That's what it says, right? Same y-intercept as that line. So I'm going to look, what is that line? X plus 2y minus 4 equals 0. So I see that that line has a y-intercept of 2. So all we would do is we figured out what that is, and we would have that guy go up 2. So basically that green line has the same y-intercept as that dumb purple line. Sorry, it's a bit zoomed out. Same y-intercept as that purple line, but it is perpendicular to the blue one, whereas that purple one is not. It's close, but it's not. So that's all we did. That's where we ended that one. So I'm going to go back to full screening this so you guys can see that a bit better. Yeah, and that's pretty well the end game there. What I'll probably do is I'll just send you guys, because I know some of you are probably looking for some idea of practice and vocabulary, that sort of thing. So I don't know. I'll send this to you guys right now, but I'm not expecting you to look at any of this tonight. We'll do our quiz tomorrow, and that'll give you a way to know where you have it, but sorry, where you're at, to see if you're like, oh man, I need to study a lot more tonight and Wednesday night in order for study for this test. But just in case some of you are already like, ooh, I need some help, I am gonna send this to you guys. I am Iron Man. All right. Well, that's gonna send. And anyways, I'll shut up. Basically, you guys are free to go. I would say take a look at that review, take a look at that vocab, and rock and roll. But other than that, you guys can take off. Yeah, party on. Party on. Have a great day, guys. Thinking about you. You guys have Bible class with Mr. Felton in, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes, something like that. So I got to get ready for my Bible class as well. But anyways, keep rocking and rolling. Miss you guys. And yeah, we'll be ready for that quiz tomorrow. So let me know if you have any questions. I'm available after school as well. So hit me up if you're able to do that. Cool. See you guys.